Hi, path enthusiasts. Hope you all are having a very good day. So, in our previous class, you must have recalled that we studied about the necrosis and how the cell adapted to it, mostly the mitochondrial component of the cell. So, it usually, under stress, under prolonged stress, we can say, it, it needs ATP for adapting to the stress, but due to necrotic condition, there is decrease in ATP and there is release of reactive oxidative species, which helps in the release of some molecules called DAM, which is called as damage associated molecular patterns, which act as signals for sensing sterile inflammation. Now, what is a sterile inflammation is whenever there is an inflammatory reaction in the absence of any infectious or microbial organism or a pathogenic organism, then it is called a sterile inflammation. So these DAP molecules act as signals for sensing sterile inflammation. Okay, so these DAP molecules help in activating few receptors that are present on the cell membrane called as TLR receptors. Now, TLR on interaction with the DAM in leads to release of pro-inflammatory cytokines like tumor necrosis factor and interleukin-1. Okay, now let's come back to the background of the acute inflammation. Now, to understand how this helps in the movement of the leukocytes, we need to study how what are the events of the acute inflammation. So they are divided in fluidic phase, cellular phase, and the reparative. Okay, so during the acute inflammation, beginning of the acute inflammation, there is transient vasoconstriction followed by the endothelial vasodilation, which leads to stasis of RBCs. So the platelets get activated during this phase and the onset of the cellular phase begins as they release few factors like platelet-derived growth factors and transforming growth factors. Now these act as chemoattractants of leukocytes. By recruiting first the neutrophils, then the other leukocytes like macrophages. Now, these leukocytes have been recruited at the site of the injury, but they do not have a go signal. So these pro-inflammatory cytokines released by the dam will will activate some adhesion molecules on the present on the endothelial cells and release them, facilitating the phenomena called as leukocyte rolling, which followed by diabetes. And these macrophages now help in the phase, reparative phase of the inflammation with the events of namely tissue remodeling and promotion of new vessels. Okay, so in our next lecture series, we will study about what are dams and what are PRRs and other receptors which can be activated, and also the inflammasomes which play a main role in leading to inflammation. Okay, so till then, enjoy, stay tuned.